Ladies and gentlemen, Neeks and Gerds.
People who get it, get it.
Your language is spoken here.
God bless the geek.
They're listening. You're consuming. You're watching it with your ears. Oh, just listen.
This is the Geek Speak Show.
Please make a note of it.
Your source for what's happening in geek culture. The Geek Speak Show is powered by Henry San Miguel, Rachel Rosselli, Joel Japetana, and proudly by GeekTyrant.com, Collider.com, RamaScreen.com, Mightyville.com, and ZergNet.net. Are you ready? This is the Geek Speak Show. It is the Geek Speak Show. Joel is here. Rachel is here. I'm here. Everybody's here. You're there. We are over Comic-Con already. Yes? No? Maybe so?
The remnants still remain.
I think somebody is not over something that happened in Germany over the weekend.
In Germany? Oh,
no,
yeah.
it's not even that. It's not even Germany. And you guys all know exactly what I'm talking about.
Wait.
Apparently I'm waiting. Oh my God, it's so exciting because... Am I supposed to wait? Or am I supposed to tell him now?
Are you pumped? Are you pumped yet?
Well, I mean, after that build, I mean, how can we tell him? Wait till the end.
Okay, so now that Celebration Europe 2 is over, they have announced Celebration 7, and guess where it's going to be?
Where?
Rachel's house.
Anaheim. In Anaheim. Oh my gosh.
Well,
yes, it's going to be in SoCal.
Fun with sound
He's
effects.
not that great of a DJ, but, you know, he's working on it.
Because there are no DJs.
So
they're retired.
they
Needs more
announced
bass.
it,
Needs more bass. Slap that bass.
and it's gonna be in 2015, of course, in April. So right before Episode 7 is coming out. So of course, you know what the whole theme is going to be, and tickets, of course. So Henry, you need to pay attention. Tickets go on sale August 7th.
Tickets? We don't need those stinking tickets.
No
but seriously,
ticket.
Rachel just, did the Obi-Wan Jedi mind trick on me, and she didn't have to quiz because I'll announce it now. I mean, big duh. Look who's our co-host. We are going to be there also. We're going to cover Celebration in Anaheim. We covered, WonderCon. Why wouldn't we go to this one? Hello, months, weeks before Episode 7 comes out. You really think we weren't going to be there?
It's a celebration.
You really think we're not going to have Rachel with her microphone sitting next to JJ? So, JJ, let's talk Episode 7.
Exactly. Joel, you're gonna have to follow me around with the camera because I'm gonna be in costume and all of that, but we'll handle it.
I don't mind.
You got to follow Rachel though. He's got to be following with the camera all the Slave Leia cosplayers.
Rachel Cam, 2013.
No, but that's the big announcement. He had a few announcements at Celebration. The one that just happened over the weekend. The one of them is playing with the music here. No Giacchino. John Williams will return to score Episode 7, which is, I don't know, is it a good, bad thing? Because quite honestly, Giacchino is
what?
No different than John Williams. John Williams, just because his body of work, he's done it for longer, but Giacchino has made some very... Star Trek, for the new Star Trek, I can't think of Star Trek now without thinking of Giacchino's theme, not Alexander Courage's theme anymore. So he's that good of the Lost theme, even if it's just... Boom, that was all... Giacchino and JJ came out of him, but it was Giacchino who did the Fringe theme, the Alias themes, everything he's done, the Super 8 themes, the Cloverfield theme. You guys should have stayed through the credits. It played. There was some music in Cloverfield. It was all Giacchino. So and like back then, let's show my age, but way back, almost 30 years ago now, 35 years ago exactly. John Williams. If it was a George Lucas film, which at the time was only Star Wars, John Williams had to score. There was a Steven Spielberg movie, John Williams had to do the score. Mm-hmm. Now, if it's Hans Zimmer, Christopher Nolan's behind it. If it's a Giacchino score, it's JJ behind it. So I was kind of hoping they would keep to that tradition because this is the new generation of our George Lucas's. JJ is one of us, and he's go ahead, Joel, say you're one of us.
One of us. But I like John Williams though. I like John Williams.
Yeah.
I know.
Like I said, he did the soundtrack to my childhood. I'll put it that way.
But didn't you do Jaws also?
Yeah, Giacchino's doing the soundtrack for these guys. The guy that just fell off the chair with my kids. It doesn't, honestly, not to belittle John Williams or anything. I'm not that excited about it that he's coming back. It's kind of like duh.
He gets to play his songs again.
We are, so we'll make up for you. Don't worry.
The other thing is, what is it called?
What?
Rebels, right? Star Wars Rebels.
Rebels. Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
They got the logo. I haven't put it up on the Facebook. I have it saved somewhere. I think you sent me one, or somebody sent it to me, and so I'll put it up there. Although you guys have already seen it by now. And surprisingly, not too many huge announcements. No Avengers: Age of Ultron type of announcements came out of Celebration, unless you know
I
of some.
didn't expect it to, though. No.
Yeah, they got to keep on the low.
Yeah, where else are they gonna say it? It's not like you have a Disney convention, nothing coming up.
I was going to say, we did mention something last.
For the show today, we are going to talk demons.
What?
Not the ones that were in Joel. No, we're going to talk demons. Pretty cool Kickstarter project. We're also going to talk about voiceover acting. And voiceover acting is not in a world. That's not voiceover. That's announcing. Voiceover acting is cartoon voices. Kind of like the voices we think are coming out of Joel. That's voiceover acting. With a couple of people that have been on the show before. You guys know them for Shelf Life. Yuri and Tara, they'll come on and talk about a new mockumentary, whatever it is. Pretty cool little thing coming on. We'll talk about the Wolverine pacing. Pete will do that before we get to him. He'll give his take. What did you all think of the Wolverine?
I'm indifferent to the whole X-Men franchise, to be honest.
I know when it first came out, it was awesome and it drew everybody in. And then as we continue, it's just kind of like, okay, I saw it, but nothing amazing.
I liked it because
I don't like Hugh Jackman, dude.
when I came out, I think you're the target audience anyway, so it's okay.
Yeah.
When I came out, I said, Marvel, this is how you do it. And it's not even it's a Marvel property, but it's not a Marvel Studios movie. This is how you do a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
Especially, of course, you had to stay through the credits. That's how you set up a movie.
Oh man, I didn't stay through the
Not
credits.
like Iron Man 3. Damn. So, Pacing People have his take on that.
Gotta watch it again.
All the features are here, starting with Joe. Go!
Check this out.
Geeking out with Joe Capitana. Here's Joe.
The Wolverine topped box offices this week, raking in $55 million in the U.S. and $86.1 million overseas. However, it didn't do as well as X-Men Origins Wolverine and X-Men First Class when they first came out. Nonetheless, that movie cost $120 million to make, so it's already in the green. In an interview, Chris Claremont did state that he liked the first two acts of the Wolverine, but he thought, and I quote, the third act wasn't bad per se, but it was a different tone. Now, here's a question that's on every Star Wars fan's mind. What's all this talk about Star Wars Attack Squadron? Apparently, Disney has recently registered hella domains for something called Star Wars Attack Squadron. They've got attacksquadron.org, starwarsquad.net, .org, .us, .net, etc., etc. And so far, guesses are that it could be a game, a TV show, a film, or something else entirely. Whatever it is, we'll keep you posted as more details transpire. I will tell you, though, that John Williams has been confirmed to return to score Star Wars Episode 7. Cue the Star Wars music now. In other movie news, Joss Whedon met up with Kick-Ass star Aaron Taylor Johnson to talk about possibly playing Quicksilver in the Avengers Age of Ultron. Keep in mind, Whedon's Quicksilver will be a lot different from Bryan Singer's Quicksilver in X-Men Days of Futures Past, who will be played by American Horror Stories' Evan Peters. Kick-Ass 2 geeks out August 16th. But speaking of X-Men, James McAvoy, who played Prof X in X-Men First Class, has been casted to play Victor von Frankenstein in Fox's untitled Frankenstein project. The script is still being written, but Daniel Radcliffe, aka Harry Potter, has been also confirmed to play the Doctor's assistant, Igor. Now, let's talk TV. With all the success surrounding Arrow, the CW is looking to expand the DC TV universe, and word is that they are developing a Flash television series. Barry Allen will be first introduced in the second season of Arrow and will have a recurring role in the series. A Flash movie is still unclear, but if possible, it would have to fit in between 2015's Batman vs. Superman movie and 2017's Justice League. In related news, the CW has put a pause on Wonder Woman to pursue the fastest man on Earth. The Flash takes off next fall. Speaking of CW spin-offs, the CW is also moving forward with their long-planned Supernatural spin-off, which is going to focus on the clash of hunter and monster cultures in Chicago. That spin-off is being designed as a backdoor pilot that will run in Supernatural's upcoming 9th season. The longest-running scripted TV series, The Simpsons, is finally going to cable after 25 seasons and more than 530 episodes. On Fox, The Simpsons may be getting syndicated. The show's definite future is still up in the air and may go to Fox's sister network FX or FXX, or maybe even Adult Swim on Cartoon Network, and there have been hints that an all Simpsons channel could be possible. Not much of a surprise, but Under the Dome has been renewed for a second season. That show returns next summer with 13 new episodes. Executive producer Brian K. Vaughan spoke about the possibility of Stephen King writing episodes for season 2, but no confirmation as of yet. In tech, Sony's teamed up with Panasonic to create a new optical disc capable of storing 300 gigabytes of information. Panasonic confirmed that they are working jointly to create a new disc standard by the end of 2015. For reference, PS4 games contain only 15 gigabytes of info, so imagine what 20 times that would be like. Microsoft is lowering the price of the Surface RT by $150. Apparently, Microsoft made too many Surface tablets and they're not selling as well as projected. In fact, Microsoft reported a $900 million loss in the first quarter of 2013. So in short, now is a good time to buy a Microsoft Surface if you're in the market for a cheap tablet. Finally, in fan news, an Australian millionaire is actually building a real-life Jurassic Park, and of course, he's sparing no expense. His name is Clive Palmer, and he is a mining tycoon, and he's pretty much getting a crap ton of robot dinosaurs and posing them in his coastal resort. Apparently, they look really realistic, and some of the robots are about 25 to 30 feet tall and can breathe fire. Made in China. That same dude is also building a Titanic replica that should be completed in 2016. So this concludes this segment of Geeking Out with Joel. If you have any questions, concerns, problems, you could always email us at waitwhat@thegeekspeakshow. Wait, what? At thegeekspeakshow.com. Or you can always hop on our Twitter at GeekspeakShow1. Till next time. Why, hello, John. Hello, John. Ouch, that hurt, John. Push, little one, push.
I'm Zach, and you're listening to the Geek Speak Show.
Hold on a second. Once more, with flavor.
Oh, I'm Zach Whedon, and you're listening to the Geek Speak Show.
It's compelling! What's gonna happen to these kids? Yes. I agree.
Listen to that all day. Welcome back to the Geek Speak Show. So, they were on last year talking about Shelf Life. You all know that. I should say the award-winning Shelf Life now web series. This time around, though, we're going to talk to Yuri Leventhal and Tara Platt back on the Geek Speak Show. They are actors, voice actors. Welcome, guys, to the Geek Speak Show.
Hi, thanks so much for having us again.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, thanks for taking the time to talk to me. I know I've done voiceover before. I know how a good busy, but how busy the voice of the life of a voice actor can be.
Thankfully busy.
Yeah, so yeah, it's actually like I said, it's a busy that we want to have, because when we're not busy, we're in trouble.
Right.
Speaking of voice acting, you guys have a new documentary / schmockumentary called Con Artist. I have the trailer up on our Facebook page. You guys can go check it out. Tell us a little bit about it.
Sure. Well, as voice actors, we had been traveling to a number of conventions around the world for several years, and we were chatting about the wild, wonderful world that is conventions with a friend of ours who is a filmmaker. He does documentaries, and he's also an actor. And we were just chatting about it one day, and he was like, this is the craziest thing. Like, it's just this weird place that you guys are where nobody knows who the heck you are when you're not in a convention hall. But when you're at a convention hall, you're like the Beatles. And we were joking about that and laughing about it. And he's like, we should totally do a movie. And we were like, yeah, we should do a movie. I don't really know what the hook is. I'm not sure what we would do. And a few days later, he called us back. We were actually, I think we were in Baltimore.
We were at a convention in Baltimore.
Yeah, we were at a convention in Baltimore, and he called us back, and he's like, I have it. It's called Con Artists. And Yuri and I are like, done. Let's sign up. We're doing it. So that was sort of the origin of it. His name is Boris Kievsky, and he came on as the director and filmmaker, and he traveled with us over the course of a year to 11 different conventions. And we shot actual documentary footage, but then we also, because at the root of it, we found it very humorous, we also made sure that we created and crafted characters that were us but weren't us, so that we could do a Christopher Guest-styled mockumentary inside of the documentary that is Con Artist.
And we found, as we were going around and shooting stuff, that there was so much sort of real interesting information about conventions and why people go to them and what they love, that we didn't want it to just be like a big joke film. We wanted people who didn't really know much about the scene to be able to watch the film and go, oh, there's this whole new world I don't know about. So that's why we call it sort of a docu-comedy sometimes, because it's there's real documentary stuff in there as well as some funny stuff that we came up with.
When we poke fun at, it's poking fun at ourselves. We're not poking fun at the culture or the convention itself. We're poking fun at us, which is the best kind of fun to poke.
I love conventions too much, and I'm too big of a nerd to actually make fun of those people without making fun of myself, because I used to go to conventions even before we were in the business. When I was growing up, I would go to Star Trek conventions and comic book conventions and Doctor Who conventions, and I used to dress up, and so I'm definitely steeped in it.
Who hasn't really done all that?
There's a lot of people, because a lot of people hopefully will come watch our movie about conventions.
That's true. And Tara didn't grow up with that the way that I did, so it's also interesting because she comes from a different perspective on it. I think that also helped in the film.
Yeah.
When I got the trailer for this, I watched it. I liked it. I haven't done the same thing, a little bit of voice acting myself, and I do use my voice for this stuff. And I also attend conventions now because of the show on an annual basis, or it seems like a monthly basis. Really, there's always some kind of convention going on. I don't know if you guys saw Morgan Spurlock's documentary on Comic-Con from last year. Did you guys see that one?
Yeah,
I still haven't seen it.
We haven't seen it, but our friend Holly Conrad, who actually did the costumes for Shelf Life, which we can talk about later, she's actually featured in it because she's a very well-known costume creator and cosplayer. So, yeah.
Yeah, and when he did it, what he's known for, but he was very respectful, and it was a very, very good documentary. For this one, I like the idea because, like Yuri just mentioned, you're not making fun of the culture, but you're actually seeing it from a point of view of a voice actor at a convention. We have a few friends who do that, actually. First one that comes to mind is Dino Andrade, who does some video game voices like you guys do. Yeah. Hey, Dino, I know he listens to the show. But what is it like when you go there as a voice actor? And I think it was Tara or Yuri, one of you guys mentioned it. You're kind of like a Beatle, like a rock star. But what is it like meeting fans, that fans of your voice work?
It's great. And like I said, I used to go to conventions and I used to wait in line to meet people and get autographs and stuff. And so I know how fun it can be, but also how delicate a situation it is, if you're not respectful of the fans. Because so much of the work that we do is in a vacuum. It's not like we're performing on stage and we can feel the audience right out there. We do all our stuff, and then, like a year later, people see it. And there's the internet, so we sometimes get comments on the work that we do, but to actually get to meet and interact with the people who actually appreciate what we do is just as important and just as much fun for us, I think, as it is for them. As exhausting as it can be, traveling and going to conventions and being on for so many hours a day, it's a great experience. I love going to conventions.
Yeah, I mean, there is something really nice about having that personal connection to a fan that you don't know how much you've affected them. You aren't privy to their life experience and their relationship to you in the work, until they come up to you and let you know. That's something that's happening away from you outside of your own experience. Because as the voice actor, you show up, you do the session, you go home, you hopefully have another session and you go do that. That's your experience with it, and you may enjoy the work you're doing. You may be proud of the work you're doing, and, hopefully you're bringing something to it and exploring the work and exploring yourself as an actor and a creative force. But you don't really get to see, like Yuri's saying, it's not like being in a theater, doing live theater with an audience and feeling their reaction. Like, there's sort of this disconnect. And so to have somebody come up to you and share a personal story of how the work you did affected them is a wonderful reward. I mean, what an amazing job that we get to have, you do this work sort of by yourself, and then it ends up, growing into something bigger than that. And I think that's fantastic. But it also, like Gary says, it's exhausting and tiring and sometimes very overwhelming, because also people put on you their whole relationship with you that you don't have. So it's this one-sided relationship that can be very confusing and alarming. And just based on how they have viewed you, and, if there's a pedestal they may have put you on that maybe you really shouldn't be on, or whatever that is, that then, you don't want to dash their dreams or their hopes, but you also have to say, look, I think Will Wheaton said it recently in a post, like, I'm human. If you cut me, I bleed. I'm not something else. Like, I'm just a person. at the end of the day. And I'm glad that you respect me. I'm glad that you like the work that I do. I'm not saying that I, as a person, don't freak out about certain other people, you know, like there are definitely people that are like on my list, like I want to meet Sandra Bullock because I totally am a fan of hers. But I also know she's just a person and she puts her pants on each leg at a time just like I do, you know? And I think that becomes the tricky area is when people stop remembering that you're just a person. And so
I want to make a machine that actually puts my pants on both legs at a time.
Okay.
So I can be that one guy who doesn't put his pants on one leg at a time.
The double legger?
The pantser? The
pantsifier? The pantsifier 3000?
The pantsifier 3000.
Okay, cool.
Not that there was a 1000 or a 2000.
No, you got to start high.
Yeah.
You heard it on the show first. We got to trademark that. But I was going to say, actually, you know, see, she does put it on the same as we do, but probably a little bit more expensive pants than what we would get. It's the only difference. And also, how many times have you gotten, both of you guys, have you gotten you look nothing like the character, you know, XYZ character that you voice? How times have you gotten that?
That happens sometimes. You know, sometimes that'll happen with really young fans.
Kids, yeah.
You know, the parents will bring them up and they're like 4 or 5 and they'll be like, hey, so say hi to Ben 10. And I clearly do not look, you know, I look like, you know, Ben 40. But, you know, and they just look at me like, Mom, I thought you were going to bring, you know, me
This is
Ben
just
10.
some weird old guy.
Yeah, where's Ben? I don't see him.
Yeah.
Usually in those instances, I'll say, okay, well, close your eyes for a second. And they close their eyes. And then I say, it's hero time, you know, and then they open, their eyes pop open like they're expecting.
Looking for Ben 10.
Yeah, like Ben might have appeared while their eyes were closed. It's
That just happened actually right here in the studio. My kids got excited when you did that.
excellent.
Yay.
Excellent.
I mean, every once in a while somebody's like, oh, you don't look like what I thought you would look like. But I think for the most part, now that voiceover and video games and animation and things like that have become so much more part of the mainstream. I mean, 20 years ago, people didn't really know about voiceover. It was sort of something that happened in the dark bowels of Hollywood somewhere. Like nobody really knew what it was. And now it's becoming more widely known and acceptable, and there are big celebrities that do giant, you know, like the Shrek movies and stuff like that. People are starting to go, oh, okay, it's this thing that these actors do, and I think there's getting to be less of the you don't look like that character unless you're, you know, a young fan.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we're talking to Yuri Leventhal and Tara Platt. They have a new documentary, or what did you call it? You're a docu-comedy?
I'm calling it a mockumentary, but I guess it's more of a docu-comedy because it's a mashup comedy and documentary at the same time.
Yeah, it's called Con Artist. You guys can check out the trailer on our Facebook or go to our link section. I have the website on there. For each of you guys, let's talk about you guys a little bit now. Mm-hmm. When did your interest in voice acting begin?
Well, it actually kind of happened at the same time for both of us. People assume because we're married that, you know, we met because of voiceover, but we didn't actually. We met doing an on-camera film together in New York, and then we moved out to Los Angeles together. And when we were out in LA, we were just looking for work as actors. And we were doing some theater and trying to figure out ways to make ends meet. And I don't even know how the idea popped into my head, but I just turned to Yuri one day and I was like, well, what's voiceover? How does that work? You know, like what are other options we could be doing as actors? You know, trying to pursue television, trying to pursue film, trying to pursue stage. What else is there as an actor? And we just sort of were brainstorming and we came across voiceover, but we didn't really know what it was. You know, we knew what it was without knowing what it was. We didn't know anyone that worked in it.
Yeah, we didn't know how to get into it or what, you know, the work was all about. And, you know, we had been busy auditioning for you know, film and TV and theater, and we didn't even know where those auditions were. So we just took a basic class. We just, you know, asked around, did a little research, and took a basic class on getting into voice acting and mic technique and those things. And we made some demos as part of that class. You know, a demo like an example. It's, you know, it's the equivalent of the headshot resume if you were, you know, doing on camera or theater. And we sent our demos out and we started auditioning, and it started slow, but you know, one job led to another little job, and that job introduced us to somebody else, and it started to build from there. And it was exciting because, you know, as a kid, I mean, voiceover should have been the first thing I thought of, because I grew up playing video games and watching cartoons and, you know, making my own little radio shows when I was a kid. And so that was something that I already had a love for, but for some reason just never thought, oh, well, that's, a job that you could potentially do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've met a lot of people who want to break into the voice acting or just want to be on the radio because somebody told them that you sound good on the radio. But I got to say, and maybe you guys agree with this or not, you jump in. When you do voiceover acting, because there is a difference between an announcer voice and voiceover acting, because you're actually acting. Most of the time, it's the way you guys sound right now and the way I sound right now. Just take it a little bit back, a little bit forward. You guys know the directions you get. It's not about making a cartoon voice like this or something like that. It's you actually use your own voice and just make it a tool. Find a way to use it really.
Yeah, no, I mean, I would agree. It's about the acting. I mean, it's called voice acting for a reason. It isn't just making funny voices. Like, that's not just what it is. At the end of the day, the characters that come the most to life and the roles that people respond to the most are because of the humanity of the acting work that's happening, People are getting excited about video games because they're getting more in depth and more, there's a lot more happening in the world. And that's because the voice actors are bringing those characters to life and you're getting invested in them, just like you get invested in your favorite TV characters or your film characters. It's the character that's getting brought to life, the stakes that are happening, the things that are on the line, and you really get invested in them regardless of them making a funny voice. It's them going through the experience and having personal reactions to it.
And that comes from really good writing too. I think writing is getting better and better on shows like that and on games. That's the reason that games like The Last of Us are getting so much attention lately because it's really good acting and really good, and that comes from really good writing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like being in the movie really now.
Yeah, it's like getting to be in a movie and spending way more than an hour and a half, 2 hours there.
Yeah.
And getting to sort of interact in a way that movies don't allow you to do.
It makes every video game player a participant in the movie rather than just going to the movie theater and watching a 2-hour movie. You get to actually be in the movie with with those characters. It's basically bringing the world to life. And you're right. At the end of the day, it's really the acting. It's not what you can do with your voice just for, like a circus show, like, oh, this is a fun thing. I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this. It's really coming from the acting as a basis, the who, what, where, when, why of the character, what are the stakes, what's happening, where are you going, and then layering on top of that choices that are going to make the character younger with your voice or older with your voice or, more drawn out or tighter, like you play with all the technical elements of your voice once you've created who that person or that being is, because it's not all people. Sometimes we play little dancing mushrooms or whatever.
Yeah, which is not to say that, that funny voices and, caricatures and impressions don't have a place in voice acting.
Sure.
But that shouldn't be your focus. You're right. A lot of people say, oh, I do a lot of crazy little voices. I should totally be a voice actor. Maybe, because nice things to have in your back pocket. And there are definitely people in this business who really make that work for them. But the people that we've really seen stick around and do really well are also really good actors.
Yeah. And I mean, there is a place for, even like you were saying, the announcer voice. Like, that's definitely a job. And I would argue that there is acting happening in that too. I mean, they have to at least give the impression that they care about what they're talking about to get you hooked on that, even though it's a very specific quality to the voice. But yeah.
Yeah, and as this has been happening, I would say in the last decade, I would say, the biggest name we think of is, of course, Morgan Freeman. Now, actual Hollywood actors are jumping into the voiceover biz. Do you guys see that as okay? So he's doing it, or is like that should have been my job?
I think you can take it from both sides. On one hand, it's really easy to complain about, oh man, I can't believe that they gave that job to Tim Allen and Tom Hanks. So they should have gotten a purely a voiceover guy to do it. Here, look at it this way. Would that movie have gotten made without those names? Unfortunately, probably not, because the money people want to see something that they're used to. The money people want, to say, oh, well, I know those people, so, and those are famous actors, and so I'm sure the movie will do well. They might not have gotten the funding with those names attached. And sometimes those actors turn out to be really good voice actors. Not always. And, sometimes they'll bet on a big actor's name to to sell an animated movie and it'll tank, you know?
Yeah.
And because in the end, I don't think the audience is going because Tom Hanks and Tim Allen are doing the voices as good as they are.
They're going because it's two little rubber duckies that are, that they want to follow around the bathtub or whatever it is.
Toy Story, you know?
Yeah.
It's Pixar, and we've learned that they tell really good, engaging, fantastical stories, and that's what we want to go and see.
Yeah.
But I got to work on a show called Afro Samurai, and I will tell you right now that if Sam Jackson had not said, I want to do Afro Samurai, that would have never happened. And I never would have gotten a job. So, so you can take it from both sides. Do we lose jobs? Yeah. But we probably gain as many jobs as we lose.
Yeah. And I mean, I understand there's a lot of actors in the world that are like, well, why they get so many opportunities because they are who they are at the level that they're at. Why can't smaller actors or actors that are more known for just this one thing get the opportunity? But I have to agree with Yuri completely that, that many opportunities are offered because those people are attached and that we get the chance to do work that wouldn't have happened otherwise. And you know what? If it's down to the penny counters at the end of the day and it's their choice to make a movie or not because they need people attached to it that they feel are going to, put the bottoms in the seats, then I say more power to it. And I hope that someday I'm a name that they consider is a bottom in the seat sort of name,
Right. Yeah, it's a money game. And do I wish it was different? Yeah, I wish it was different, sometimes, but that's the game we're playing right now.
Yeah.
And maybe it'll change someday, but that's the game.
Yeah. So you guys are also known for Shelf Life. We talked about it before on the show. So without giving anything away, just teases a little bit. What can we expect for Shelf Life's 5th season?
Well, I can give you not very much away, but I will tell you that we are actually in the process of putting together the season 4 DVD. And what we're doing that's really exciting that I think the fans will particularly like, much like the season 1 through 3 DVD that had a lot of bonus content, we're actually putting bonus whole episodes on the DVD that are not going to go online. So we're really excited about that because fans and supporters of the show that get the DVD are actually going to get episodes that no one else on the internet is going to see. So I think they're going to really benefit from that because we're putting a lot of hard work into the DVD. So that's actually the big thing on our plate right now is working on the DVD because we're wanting to make it bigger and better than ever before because we're trying to honor how big season 4 was. And so in order to do that in its best sort of way, we're making the season 4 DVD bigger and better than anything we've done before.
Yeah, I'll tell you, it's going to be hard to top season 4 in terms of scope. Man, I'm like, what do we do next after season 4? We went so big. So we're still trying to sort that out right now. But in the meantime, we've got some unaired episodes from season 4 that we want to find a way to get out there and put together a DVD that'll have a bunch of bonus things on it. So that's our focus for now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely there for that one. Really enjoyed season 4. I've been following you guys since season 1, actually. So going back to Con Artists, when is that one going to be ready for the public and where can we get it?
Yes. Well, we're actually currently talking to distributors right now, so we can't give you a firm date that people will be able to see it or where they'll see it because depending on which distribution situation we end up with, it'll be a very different answer. But I will tell you that we are going to be holding a cast and crew screening hopefully at the end of August, possibly the beginning of September in Los Angeles. And we will be trying to invite some press people to that as well just so that they can get a first glimpse of the film.
But until we get a word on sort of distribution and, what avenues we'll be able to get it out through, you'll just have to be okay with the trailer and whatever news we can get out. But we definitely
we're working on it every day, I promise.
Yeah, we've worked so long to put this film together. Trust me, we want you guys to see it as quickly as possible at this point.
Yeah, but we're definitely in talks with several conventions to potentially air it at conventions as well, which would be really fun because it would be right there for the fans that are.
I was gonna say that'd be perfect.
Yeah, maybe we'll do like a Kevin Smith style road show. We'll just take the
con
film.
show.
Yeah, we'll just take the film, do a bunch of cons, and start screening it.
Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah, so again, Con Artists, you guys keep checking. You guys are on Twitter. What are your Twitters again?
Yeah, on Twitter, I'm at Tara Platt.
And I'm at Yuri Leventhal, so we don't get complicated on
Nope,
anything there.
very easily found on the lines.
So you guys can follow them there, and if they get any news, I'm sure it'll be on there first. So again, thanks a lot for coming on, guys. We wish you nothing but the best and continued success, and you're welcome back anytime.
Oh, absolutely, and thanks so much for having us on.
Yeah, we're always happy to be on.
Comics commentary with Jessica Nidon on the Geek Speak Show.
Hey, today I'm going to be doing a comic book review, but first I want to mention that on August 7th in Concord, California, Stan Lee is going to be at Flying Color Comics helping them celebrate their anniversary. He's going to be out there signing autographs and taking photos with fans. I know you want to know all about it, all the details. Don't worry, you can find all the information on our website. So today I have with me Josh. He's a fellow comic book enjoyer. And we are going to give you our thoughts on Superman Unchained #1. So Josh, when you saw the cover of Superman Unchained, what did you think?
I thought, next.
No, you didn't. Are you serious?
Yeah, I don't like Superman.
You're not a fan of Superman?
Nope.
Okay.
I've never been a fan of Superman. I don't know, I thought, that looks like a young Superman.
Yeah, he does
What do
look
you
a lot.
think?
He looks really clean cut.
He looks younger, like he's full of angst.
Okay, so since you're not a fan of Superman, did you like the story at all?
Yeah, the story was good. It was basically like an introduction, sort of.
Yeah,
Like
I thought it was interesting.
Reintroducing
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Superman.
Yeah, kind of. It was something, a story that someone who's not into Superman could get into without reading any of the other ones.
Yeah.
You know, they could get into this one.
Without having to know
Too much.
prior knowledge.
So that's always good for a comic book.
Yeah.
Was the art good? I thought it was okay.
I don't know, it was alright. It looks like there's a lot in each of the little squares, what are they called?
Columns?
In each of the columns, there's a lot going on. It's almost hard to see what you're looking at sometimes when you look at these. Look at that. It's like, what am I looking
Yeah,
at?
there is a lot going on. Oh, and one of the other things I found, during parts of it, we could, reading what he was thinking.
Oh, that was cool,
yeah, that was pretty cool.
I like that at the beginning when it actually, you can read his thoughts, his thought process. That was pretty good. That's a side you never see.
Yeah, that was something new, and I liked that because it's like, oh, this is what Superman thinks.
And it's not all straightforward, too. He's kind of comical about it.
Yep. I liked that part about it.
That
So that
was pretty
writing was cool.
So that already makes it better than the old.
Than the older ones. I don't have a thing against Superman like you, so I enjoyed it.
I just think Superman is, like, too generic. It's like, Superman! What are we gonna call him? Superman?
But he's super and a man.
I know,
What else would you call him?
He's super and a man.
What else would he be called?
I should have called him Flying Laser Eye Man.
Super strong man.
Super strong guy.
But I do understand about too much going on in some of the scenes because it can be overwhelming.
It's a little much to focus on.
It took me, why it messed up because I would read, like, the bubble, and then I'd stop for like 5 minutes looking at everything, and then I'd have to...
Exactly. It doesn't flow well because I have to look at all, these artists get paid a lot of money.
And looking at all the details, and I was like, oh wait, I gotta go read that again because I forgot. The art's pretty cool in some parts though.
Yeah, it's cool.
Oh, and in the back of the book, I don't know what page, because there's no page numbers, it shows you a little breakdown of
how the
art. Yeah, so that's pretty cool to see. The breakdown of how they do the art. Okay, the poster part, that was cool. I liked that.
That was cool.
It has that, like 2 pages of the story are put into a poster that's easily removable and put up on your wall or wherever you want to put it.
In your bathroom?
Chow, that's right when you see Superman, like, right? For like the first time. Right, that's like the first time. Yeah. For the story, that's the first time you really get to see him. You see like his feet and his face, but...
And they're like, who's that? I don't know. Is that Batman? Is it Spider-Man? No.
No. Then Chow.
Dang. Superman. One thing I don't like about these new comic books is, first of all, the finish is like a glossy finish. I don't
You like the paper.
I like the paper.
And that's more expensive to do too.
But look, there's
But
like
they last
ads,
longer.
like every like 3 pages.
Yeah,
there's
they do put a
ads,
lot of
we'll buy
ads.
another one, and it's like, come on, man.
And they do it in the kids' books too, and it gets them confused because they start reading them thinking it's part of the book, and they're like, "Oh wait, that didn't make sense."
And
It's
then
an
at the
ad.
end, we have an epilogue that's a page. And then we have another ad, and then we have 5.2 questions.
That's cool because they talked to
Yeah.
Scott Snyder and also Jim Lee.
And
So that's
Jim
cool.
Lee. Two or 3 pages of that. And then we have another ad. And then we have a completely blank white page.
That's for notes. Keeping notes.
That's symbology. Then we have another ad and another little mini comic.
I think that might be for Batman.
So yeah, they're giving you the money's worth.
And ads.
Superman works for Sears.
That's where he works.
Mhm.
Super Sears.
No, he works at the Daily Bugle. No, it's Clark Kent.
Yeah.
Superman works for Sears. That's what they should start doing, is putting sponsors all over Superman.
So on your scale 1 to 10, what would you rate it?
Well, probably at least, probably 7.5.
Yeah, I was thinking, between 6.5 and an 8, somewhere around there. Because it was pretty good. It did get my attention, and I did really like what we were talking about, the inside his mind, hearing what he thinks. That was cool.
Yeah.
I liked hearing that.
Yeah, that's...
Or not hearing it, reading it.
Yeah. And the art is good. It's just, there's just a lot going on.
There is. Like while you're reading, you got to see what's going on in the pictures, but there's so much going on that you lose your place. Or like me, you forget what you just read and have to go back and reread it. Or I guess you could read it fast once and then go back and look at all the pictures.
Nope. No, that's not. No one's doing that.
Well, thank you for being here with me, Josh.
Of course.
If you'd like to listen to the whole review, you can find the link to that on our website.
Hi, this is Tara Platt, and I play Katarina on League of Legends.
And this is Yuri Leventhal. I'm Ben Tennyson on Ben 10. And you're listening to the Geek Speak Show.
You are listening to the Geek Speak Show. We just had both of them on, actually. That was pretty quick. They did that for us. So we talk about a lot of Kickstarter projects here on the show. Space Command comes to mind. Help 'Em Alive is another one that comes to mind. Here's another cool one for you guys to get behind. It's called Fire City, the Interpreter of Signs, a demon noir fantasy. I have the trailer up on the Facebook page and on our main page. Before you go there, though, I also have the creators and the director on with us. So we have Brian Lubocki, Michael Hayes, Tom Woodruff. Guys, welcome to the Geek Speak Show.
Thank you.
Hey, great to be here.
Thanks.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. So whoever wants to jump on, tell us all about Fire City.
I think this is Tom, but hey, Brian, I think you and Michael should jump in first.
Sure. So Fire City started out as a web series about 3 years ago. Brian and I were screenwriters here in Hollywood, and we wanted to make something our own. And so we came up with an idea, and the more we started working on it and building the world out, we realized it was a lot bigger than a web series.
And Mike and I wrote in different genres. I was more of the horror guy and fantasy, and Mike was more strictly action, thriller, has a big background in noir. So we kind of put our heads together and brought our favorite things from our genres and brought them to Fire City, which is where you get the horror and the noir mixed in with the thriller and the fantasy, and it's like peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah. So we shot some footage, and it came out really well. We got Tom and Alec over at Amalgamated Dynamics involved. They built a demon for us, and we just started to develop the world and sort of shop that footage around. And what we realized was that there really was no scenario, at least in this town, where we actually get to make the film ourselves and stay on board. Ironically, the studio is actually they are aware of the project. They do want the project, but they are very, very risk averse. And one of the biggest risks is to work with new producers. You can work with a lot of new talent, but producers are really something that studios shy away from. They really do not like to work with new producers. So we decided to just keep it, to just keep the project our own and go the Kickstarter way.
Always good. So what is the inspiration behind the Fire City world?
Well, it's a couple of things. From an emotional standpoint, when we started writing this, my daughter was very, very young. Michael also has 2 daughters. So it came from a conversation about being terrified of having a daughter, wanting to protect them, their innocence, their virtue, all the scary things as a dad you go through. So that was really the spark. And from there, we just took, a classic noir gumshoe detective, all the great things we love about Chinatown and Maltese Falcon, and kind of put them in a world that's closer to Hellraiser or at least Hellboy. And it really just took off from there.
And then how did you guys meet?
Well, these guys came to us actually through a mutual friend of ours. This was a film producer and director himself that had put us in touch because he knew Brian and Michael, and he had done some work with me on a project that I was trying to get off the ground. So long story short is the guys came to us with this great idea for this gigantic film and no means to get it made. So the idea was that they were going to produce this promo piece, really high-polished promo piece that would feature one character. And look, these things come to us, at ADI, where we create monsters and creatures all the time for everything from low budget to big studio projects. Every once in a while, we'll see a project like this. You can tell it's got heart and it's got some place to go. Meaning, it's a safe bet for us to jump in and get involved. So we pour everything we can into it and basically do these things, for a dime. And it came out really cool. I played this creature. These guys put together a really, really great promotional thing, and the ball really started rolling once this thing got out.
And then who are the actors and interpreter of signs?
Well, we shot a short film promo, and we shot with an actress named Stacy Heideck, who was on Superboy back in the day, and Sequest, and she just has a lot of credits. And we shot with a guy named John Robinson, who was in Gus Van Zant's Elephant, and just a fantastic actor. And, of course, Tom directed for us. Somewhere along the way, probably, a year and a half ago, we found out Tom wanted to direct. So we jumped at the chance to have him take control. Please.
Yeah, there was definitely strategy. There was strategy involved in my wanting to direct, because when I saw this thing come together, what these guys do with the promotional reel, I thought, God, this is such a cool world. And at that point, there's an element of us, as ADI creature guys, wanting to put this stuff out here, but hey, we also wanted to benefit us. And as we started propelling ourselves more into production mode as producers and writers and directors, creating content and aligning ourselves with other creative people, I thought that this might be the opportunity to be able to jump out of just being the creature builder and actually being the guy that knows how to direct these things. So it was sort of a long process. It wasn't complicated, but we had to wait for certain things to fall into place the right way before it made sense to move forward.
We are talking about Fire City, the interpreter of signs. It's a demon noir fantasy. It's also a Kickstarter project. You guys can get involved. Very cool. Look at the trailer again after we finish this interview, or you guys can open up a new tab and watch it while. I know a lot of you out there can multitask, but we're talking to Brian Lubocki and Michael Hayes, are the creators and producers. Director is Tom Woodruff Jr. He's on the phone with us also. Talk about who else is behind the scenes with you guys.
Well, we have a fantastic line producer named Dennis Stewart Murphy. He's actually the line producer on the show The Bridge right now on FX. And he was the guy who was making sure everything was on budget, on time for, Reanimator, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Friday the 13th Part 2, Enough with Jennifer Lopez. So this is a veteran who really makes sure that we all keep on task and do what we say we're going to do.
Well, also, besides him, we have a fantastic director of photography, Rob Hauer, who was best cinematographers under 35 in Cinematographer magazine. We have Dane Oshiro, who's a production designer, just a fantastic production designer. And those guys have been with us for 3 years. We shot 3 years ago with them. We shot 3 months ago with them, and we just plan to keep the team together.
We also have for sound design, which is kind of the unsung hero, a gentleman by the name of Christopher Eakins, who worked on The Matrix Reloaded, The Expendables 1, and also excuse me, the Expendables 2. And whenever you hear a demon roar or the ground shake or the walls crack, he's the one behind it. And it really at such a deep level. So we're really happy that he's on board for this as well.
Yeah, and you can hear some of that in the trailer again, which I do have on our Facebook page if you guys haven't checked it out. Also have a link in our guest link section to the Kickstarter. So like I said, you guys can get behind it. But before you do, they want to know, like every good Kickstarter project, what are the incentives for the backers?
Well, they get to live with Tom for a month.
I mean, that's it.
Yeah, $10,000.
There's also a 2-month.
Well, that depends. Do we get to live with Tom at ADI, or do we have to stay at his
Well,
home?
that's where he lives. He lives in one of the
Utilities included, or what?
It's 10 hours a day here in Chatsworth.
And you don't get any internet connection, but there's really good food out there.
So for prizes, we have everything from set of Demon Tarot cards. We have a maquette of our what we call our Moloch demon, which is the crazy horn demon.
You could actually be a demon or be killed by a demon.
Horny demon, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So for all the people aspiring to just get their face on the screen or have a line of dialogue, we have that available. You can also be behind the scenes. There are different roles where you can contribute to the creation of a demon and be in all our creative meetings, be on the set, be an associate producer, even an executive producer if you'd like.
Yep, those are the higher end things. Certainly, we encourage people to grab those up. But we also have things like comic book, DVD, of course, Blu-ray, T-shirts.
There's also, because of our movie centers around our interpreter of signs, which is actually a fortune teller in the demon world, there's all sorts of cool prizes where she will tell you your fortune on Facebook, or she'll make you a specialty tarot card that you'll actually get sent to you with your special fortune.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people are gonna want the walk-on roll or the getting killed by a demon roll.
Sure.
And those of you who think, I don't want to memorize lines. There's no lines to memorize. It's just or whatever. There you go. There's your line.
Yeah. However you die.
Yeah. So if you do want to get involved, there are different levels. Of course, you can check it all out on the Kickstarter page that we have it up on our guest link section. When do you hope to have the film ready for the public?
Well, if all goes according to plan, we plan to shoot in January, this January. So we're aiming towards an October 2014 release. Now, a lot of things could happen. We have to formalize a schedule and actually go out to actors and make sure that their schedules are coordinating with ours. So all that could change, but we're kind of locked and loaded for the January shoot if everything falls into place.
Yeah, because you actually do have actors. I mean, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I saw C. Thomas Howell in the trailer, right?
That's right. C. Thomas Howell was actually in our test footage we did a couple years ago, and he was playing our detective in the sequel to what we're doing now, which is actually going to be called Fire City Demon in the Darkness, and that's actually the first of a trilogy, if we're not being too ambitious.
Yeah,
we are, but...
So hopefully, we will have something. We will be able to have you guys back for our Halloween show. There's no wood in here. Everything is computerized now. There's no wood to knock on. Knock on wood, pretend wood. But hopefully we'll have something by Halloween. Shut up, Joel. Next year. So again, it's a very awesome Kickstarter project, like most of the ones we have on here. You guys love getting behind them. Go again to our guest link section. It's all on there for you to check out the trailer that they have on there. And there's some other short videos for you guys, some behind the scenes stuff also for you guys to see. There's some messages from Tom and Brian and Michael. So Brian, Michael, Tom, thanks a lot for coming on and letting us know all about Fire City, the Interpreter of Signs. Keep us updated. We'll have you guys back on whenever you have any news or anything that you want to tell us. You're more than welcome back on the show.
Hey, that's great. Henry and Joel, thank you guys, too, for having us on.
You are very welcome, but the pleasure was ours.
Watch it? Don't watch it? Let's find out.
Please make a note of it.
Pacing Pete's movie reviews, exclusively on the Geek Speak Show.
Hey guys, I'm back this week to review The Wolverine. Now, going into this movie, I really didn't know what to expect. This comes off the first standalone Wolverine movie, X-Men Origins Wolverine, that just plain wasn't good. It left little to be desired when it came to a sequel. I mean, where were they going to go? What were they going to do? There was so much going on that by the end of the movie, you were just kind of like, whatever. So when I heard about a sequel, I couldn't help but be concerned. The trailers didn't leave much to be excited about either. I was very much wondering, is this going to be another movie about a superhero, or I take that back, a mutant who is going to be battling whether or not he wants to be humanized again, or is he trying to find a cure for himself? Because that's the kind of the thought I was getting when I saw the trailers. Now that's just what I thought going in. Coming out, it exceeded my expectations. It was very, very well done. I was really, really surprised at how well it was done. And I'm not saying that it was just another superhero comic book movie. It was a really well done character-driven movie. It's far and away better than X-Men Origins Wolverine. It is just way better. I mean, it's not even close how much better this movie is than X-Men's Origins. I very much enjoyed that it really got into Logan, Wolverine. It got into him as a person. It wasn't just him fighting, throwing his claws around. There was a deeper meaning to him and what was going on in the story. And I found that very entertaining. And that was probably what I enjoyed about it the most. The action was awesome. The fight scenes were really cool. Granted that the first 2 acts of the movie I thought were really handled well. By the third act, the climactic ending, the fight scenes, everything that came at the end, it became a comic book movie again. But that's not a terrible thing. It still was very, very well done. Now, the source material comes from the Wolverine. A lot of comic book know-it-alls, such as yourselves, know that it's also known as the Japanese Saga, which was a story done by Chris Claremont and Frank Miller. I actually, when I was researching some of the information, the background for this movie, I came across a really good article written by Casey Walsh of geekswithwives.com. You should check it out sometime. He had a really good overview of the Japanese saga, and if you haven't read the comic books, or you're maybe thinking about it, check out that read before you do it, because it's a good article that gives you a good segue into the movies and the comic books and tying it all together, and I thought it was really well done. The acting was great. Hugh Jackman is always good. Like I said earlier, he's a really, really good Wolverine. I feel like he gets better in every Wolverine movie he does, especially in this one. And with the depth that is brought onto the character, Wolverine, Logan, he brings so much more of that out with how well he portrays that character. I really enjoyed this movie, and like I said earlier, it blew away my expectations. Well, I wouldn't say it blew away expectations, but it certainly exceeded my expectations as to what we would get with this next standalone Wolverine movie. And just to sum everything up, it was a good story. It was very well done. I like how it didn't need all the fancy, special effects. It didn't need too much action. It needed just enough to keep me entertained. And I think it'll keep you entertained for the 2 hours and 6-minute running time that it has. Now, if you haven't heard already, there is some really cool stuff going on in this movie, particularly after the credits, after the very, very first credits. I won't give anything away. I'll just say keep your butt in those seats and watch, because you are certainly going to be rewarded, and it's really, really, really cool. I wish I could just spoil it for you guys and tell you all about it, but I won't say anything. Just go watch it, and trust me, it's really, really, really cool. Now, I usually like to pace around. My name's Pacing Pete, so obviously, but you don't need to pace around and think about this movie. You need to just run to the theater and watch it. That's my recommendation. Run to this movie, go watch it, enjoy it, and know that Fox is certainly going in the right direction. And I can't wait for Days of Future Past, which is the next X-Men movie. It should be really exciting. If it's going the way that this movie went, the Wolverine, then I certainly am excited for the next X-Men film. If you agree or disagree, let me know. You can reach me on my email, pacingpete@thegeekspeakshow.com, or hit me up on my Twitter, @pacingpete. Alright guys, take it easy. I'll see you at the movies.
What did you think of the movie? Send an email to pacingpete@thegeekspeakshow.com. This is the Geek Speak Show Book Club. Sci-fi, fantasy, horror, graphic novels, biographies. You'll hear them here on the Geek Speak Show Book Club.
No, I don't have the Harry Potter book. Should I change that, or do you guys like that?
If it is a book,
I like that one.
If it is a book you require, I shall provide.
Okay, so who wants? We actually all do have books. I actually did get a chance to read. So who wants to go first this time around?
Joel,
Ooh,
what do
me?
you have?
Yeah, I guess I'll start it off, set the bar low.
Yeah, he's going to be the shortest anyway, so might as well.
So this time I chose this graphic novel. I mean, you guys might know about it. It was Frank Miller's Daredevil Born Again, which came out in the 80s, late 80s to be exact, 86 I think. Good year. And then is drawn by David Mazzucchelli, one of my, I really like this guy as an artist. And this one is pretty much, the Kingpin really ruins Matt Murdock's life. He loses his house. I think Kingpin blew it up, if I can remember very well. Anyway,
that's where Shane Black got the idea.
There was all this stuff happening to Daredevil, and he had woman problems, and one of his girlfriends became like a porn star and then a heroin addict, and then she sold his identity to the mafia, and then eventually it got to the Kingpin, so the Kingpin found out that Matt Murdock was Daredevil.
Biographical to you?
Yeah. This actually happened to me yesterday. And then Daredevil reaches rock bottom, and then he says to himself, "Gotta keep moving, because I'm not dead if I keep moving." And then eventually, with the help of the Avengers, he gets it all back together, and he's born again. And I just like to I brought that book up because it's been a while since I've been on the show, and I'm born again.
He's a born again.
I'm a born again geek.
Daredevil.
Show.
What's
radio
it called again?
Host. Daredevil Born Again.
So that's
I was
his-
born this way.
Rachel, what you got?
Okay, so what is one of the coolest things about aliens in any story?
Acid blood?
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
I was about
different
to say
colored
acid
blood.
That they're so advanced from us. I mean, they have to be to get here, first of all.
Okay, so for me, the coolest things are A, like the world that they come from, right? This whole different place. And B, that they speak a language that is either, half audio and half binary, or all these random things with their languages, or how their computers work differently, with some kind of computer coding language. So
You got me thinking about that movie Signs now.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. So my book is called The Language Construction Kit, and it's by Mark Rosenfelder. But what this would do is if you were going to create an alien race or some kind of crazy sci-fi people, you would have to create a language for them, right? And so this will let you choose all of the things about it, like decide what it sounds like, create the grammar, design the alphabet, design the text and how it would look. And it gives you all the right things so that you have it so you actually can use it in a story or a film or whatever. And you can even make it into an app. You can do all these cool things, but you have your own language for your fantasy/alien world. And I think it's awesome.
Geeked us again.
And I want to do it.
What language are you speaking right now?
Well, generally I like to go to Arabish, but in this case we might have to come up with a new one.
Yeah, I speak Italian myself.
She has the handbook to do it too. She wants to go to a new one. So my book is The Mad Scientist's Guide to World Domination. It's actually edited by John Joseph Adams. It's a collection of short stories by a bunch of authors. Has a foreword by one Chris Claremont. You might, well, actually, no, you said you're over the X-Men. Well, the movies. Chris Claremont did the X-Men comics. So
we could talk about this off the show, off
the air.
Yeah.
He did. He did the foreword for this. But this is a short collection of short stories by different authors. Is talking about world domination. You look at mad scientists and people who want to take over the world in a lighter way. Yeah, they're not all that bad.
Yeah, they're not all that mad.
They just want to rule everything. It's okay.
Yeah, and
they just
wipe
know a
out
thing or
most of
two.
humanity. So they actually take it. Most of the stories they talk about how they the world dominees, I guess you want to call them, how they see the hero that comes to save the day. How do they see them? I mean, we all see him as a hero, of course, but how do they see him? They see him as the villain and explains the why, and it's pretty interesting. So again, it's called The Mad Scientist's Guide to World Domination, edited by John Joseph Adams. Pretty new. You can find it in bookstores. Just came out last month, as a matter of fact. I find it in the library. So you
What's a library?
You guys, the place where you usually go when you need to go to the restroom.
You mean the internet?
That has all those books.
That place.
Yeah, you guys can find it there. So those are our books for the book club this week. That's the show for this week. Before we go anywhere, a couple of announcements I have to make. That was very St. Patrick's Day of me, but a couple of announcements we got to make. One, I'm going to take a page from Joel. No, not reading.
What page?
Another page.
Yeah, not the reading part.
I'm going to take a long vacation, as in the whole month of August, and I'm taking you guys with me. How about that?
Yes.
Oh, yes. Where are we going?
You can stay in your house. You can stay in your house. I'll stay in my house.
I do like my house.
No, we're going to take a break only because I need to I keep mentioning, a lot of the technical stuff I got to do behind the scenes. I do have to do that, and I actually have to take time and uninstall some things that are here, and it's kind of hard to do a show when you don't have a microphone. So I have to unplug microphones and speakers and just a bunch of really, really tech geek stuff. So rather than work around the mess of wires, the bigger mess of wires, I should say, that we have here, I'm just going to say take a break. But there will be some special programming, not best of, some special programming. Start listening next week and you will see exactly what that is. They're pretty cool, actually. You guys will like that.
So this may be the last time we hear our voices on the air, huh?
Well, if we get hit by a meteor or something in the meantime, maybe.
Rachel, say something. I want to hear you.
The other thing is you still will get to see us. Literally, you'll see Joel, myself, and our comics commentator, Jessica Nadon. She'll be out there.
What?
We're going to be with Stan Lee.
Yes.
Who's that guy?
Let me let that sink in. We're going to be with Stan Lee. I missed him at a big wow. You guys glanced at him from a distance.
Yeah,
but
he's always crowded by bodyguards. So.
Yeah, I'm actually going to see. This is my second chance, and unless you have a DeLorean and you know where it's going to hit. Lightning doesn't strike twice and you don't know where it's going to hit. This time we do. Stanley, I missed him in San Jose. I'm going to see him in Concord. Flying Colors Comics and other cool stuff. 25th anniversary. Let's not forget that. It's also the 25th anniversary with Stan Lee. Autograph picture packages are sold out. They've been sold out for a while. So you guys can go there. If you don't have your tickets, you're not going to get an audience with Stan Lee. You might see him, like Joe said, with a bunch of heads all around you. You can go ahead and try and take pictures. But I do know those same security guys, they will not allow you to take pictures with your own phones or cameras or anything. So
he should have his security guards dress up in costume like the Marvel characters. It'd be kind of cool.
But Joe, who thought of Free Comic Book Day, also thought of everybody else who's not going to get to see. See, David Glanzer and everybody at Comic Con, they should do something like this. Joe knows that not everybody's going to get to see Stan Lee at Flying Colors. So,
tell me more.
In conjunction with the San Francisco Giants, what's baseball? What is that? The San Francisco Giants, you're going to have a Stan Lee experience at AT&T Park later that evening.
AT&T Park!
You got to get your packages. That starts at 7:15. Shut up, Joe. At 7:15 at night. It's a VIP party pre-game event. I guess the game starts at 7:30 or something like that.
Usually, yeah.
You're asking me like
7:35 maybe.
But you get to have drinks with Stan Lee, have hors d'oeuvres with Stan Lee, maybe some dinner with one of the packages, and of course a picture and an autograph, and just geek out about baseball, I guess.
Well, I was going to say, here's the one reason why you could go to the baseball game.
Tell me more.
Star Wars Day.
Well, yeah, besides that, of course. That's the only reason why I'd go.
I wonder if AT&T Park's going to give away something Stan Lee related too, because they usually give giveaways.
Well, actually, I'm glad you asked that because they are. Sergio Romo, I guess, is one of the players.
Sergio Romo.
Yeah, again, don't ask me. But your Generalissimo, he I don't know if he drew it, but it is a very limited edition painting. I don't know if it's a painting, but it's probably just a drawing. I don't think he actually sat down and
or a screen print.
Yeah, of Sergio Romo in a it's sort of like a Silver Surfer kind of pose with your Generalissimo Stan Lee in the background, and he will sign those. Those are a very limited edition, so if you get those, you are getting yourself a very limited edition, like I said, but a very valuable piece of art.
I'm a Giants fan. I mean, I'll throw it out there. 2010, 2012, what?
New York Giants? So...
Nope.
That is what's going on August 7th. We will be there. But again, the show, we won't be doing new episodes. We will be doing special episodes for you guys. Just keep on listening. And I'm telling you, you're going to like what you like. I mean, what you hear. So, I was going to say coming back next week, but coming back next month. And I don't know what rhymes with that.
Yeah. That's a stumper.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Just coming back next month, and I guess we'll speak more geek then. So, everybody enjoy your vacation. Enjoy whatever it is you do. I would say enjoy your books, but I know it's Joel, so enjoy your graphic novels or whatever you do.
Hey, I like pictures. I'm a visual person.
That's true.
And we will see everybody August 7th at Flying Colors for the 25th anniversary, and Stan Lee there. Bye.
Henry and the gang will return next week with an all-new episode. The Geek Speak Show is powered by GeekTyrant.com, MightyVille.com, RamasScreen.com, Zergnet.com, and Collider.com. Make sure you're subscribed on iTunes. Follow them on Twitter at GeekSpeakShow1. Become a fan on Facebook and watch event coverage on YouTube/GeekSpeak videos. See you next week. Cheerio.
The Geek Speak Show.